F1. So F1 is a new Brad Pitt movie starring Brad Pitt. Um, it is the one that's directed by Joseph Kosinski. So this is the man who also directed Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise. Um, it's also got Damson Idris, Javier Bardem, Carrie. Oh, what's her name? Where has she gone? Kerry Condon. There we go. So what's this film about? I'm going to read the synopsis for you. A Formula One driver comes out of retirement to mentor and team up with a younger driver. So that's the synopsis, and that pretty much is a pretty good synopsis because storyline wise, this is not full of twists and turns. There's nothing groundbreaking happening here in the story. So that's not why you go and watch this film really for the story. The story is just meat and potatoes storyline. What did I think of the film? I thought it was great. I thought it was just I'm gonna use the phrase meat and potatoes again. Call me crazy for using meat and potatoes 2 times in a row that quick. But I'm gonna do it. The film is meat and potatoes good fun. It's meat and potatoes. Good, hearty, healthy fun. That's gonna keep you. That's gonna keep you full. Meat and potatoes. Like I watched this film, and I came out full of meat and potatoes. I was just, that was bog standard, classic. What you want from a movie. I've had my fill of movies now. I can go home and just feel very satisfied because it was just the classic combination of meat and potatoes. The camera work is outstanding. Like we're talking like if we're just talking cinematography, we're talking Michelin star meat and potatoes served at a Michelin star restaurant. So good. But the rest of the film just good, like solid acting, solid script, fun script, storyline just I guess generic but solid as well. But yeah, the cinematography does it really elevates this film. It does a lot of work here. The exhilaration, the acceleration, it's done so well. The way they put the cameras on the side of these cars, these Formula One cars going as like, I don't know. I really have no idea what the speeds are that these drivers go at, but I'm just gonna say 200 miles an hour. Or is that crazy? If I just say 200 miles an hour, maybe that's insane. Maybe that's either insanely fast or insanely slow for these cars. But that's what it looks like to me. From a layman's point of view, 200 miles per hour. They don't even really kind of get into the weeds of explaining things with exposition. So that's why I'm just guessing now. I don't remember them ever saying, "Oh my God, he just reached the fastest top speed of 200 miles per hour." I'm just guessing completely. Like I don't know much about Formula One and about cars. I really do not follow that at all. And having watched this film, I don't really feel like I know even anymore. Honestly, it seems like tires are really important, like vitally important. What kind of tire you have for some reason, they don't really explain why. They just say it. They just sort of say it, and that's fair enough. Like, cool. I just accept that it's important, and I carry on watching the film. And yeah, the camera work just on the side of these cars going at 200 miles per hour. It's just so exhilarating. It just feels so fast. And of course, this director is able to do this because he did it in Top Gun Maverick, where he had real cameras inside real jet engines and jet planes, jet firefighters, whatever they're called. And yeah, in this one, they've put cameras inside cars, which, to be honest with you, now that I'm saying that out loud, it's actually a step down, but it doesn't feel like a step down. It's like he's going, all right. So I put I put cameras inside of fighter jets. Next, inside of cars. like that should have come first, really. Like the fighter jets is like almost the pinnacle, I guess. But yeah, put them in cars as well. But yeah, it's just going so fast that I kept thinking, like, damn, if this camera was going to fall off, it would go through the actor like a freaking bullet. Like they're going so fast. And in terms of storytelling, it's it is a feat that I'm never confused whilst watching the races. He lays out these races and shoots these races with these cars overtaking one another, and like, you would think like I'm a bit lost here, but you really aren't lost because he just directs it so well. And I know they filmed real Formula One races as well. So I really, it seems like an insane amount of logistics to get this done. Like real Formula One events, they've ended up putting cameras there, and they've managed to create a car race story in like within the race. Like within the race, the story of cars overtaking, and like they've got a whole storyline that I'm able to follow. And that's no easy feat, and they really done that incredibly well. Obviously, I have to talk about Brad Pitt. He is a movie star, you know, the same way Tom Cruise was a movie star for Top Gun Maverick. Brad Pitt's just a movie star. He's grown to be such a handsome older gentleman. He has so much sort of swag and chill about him that Tom Cruise doesn't have, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, there's like a calming force about Brad Pitt. He's extremely. He's just. He just lights up the screen when he's on screen. What can I say? His character is this, and there's some kind of contrivance where he has to come out of retirement. Basically, there's no other good enough Formula One drivers in this sort of team that's owned by Javier Bardem, and so he goes, "I'm gonna have to get this retired man who's in his, I don't know, is he in his 50s, 60s? I have no idea how old Brad Pitt is. He looks like he's in his 20s, though. But yeah, they get Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt's like, well, I haven't driven Formula One for like 20 years or something. So it's a bit of a contrivance there, but if you want to get Brad Pitt to do a racing car movie, I guess you have to do that. And it's sort of him. It's weird. Like his motivation is a bit weird. I have to say, I'm a little bit confused about his motivation, because he seems to be somebody who likes to race for like the thrill of racing, but he doesn't accept the job immediately, which is odd. Like he's like, nah, that's not me. I'm not going to do it. It's like he wants to keep doing these sort of going around the US, doing these sort of small regional races, which are just with fast cars, not necessarily Formula One cars. But it's kind of hinted at that he does the race for like the thrill of it, to know that he can, sort of thing, and not for admiration or adoration. He's just there for the thrill of it. But then if that was his motivation, you feel like he'd jump at the chance to do the Formula One. But maybe there's, I don't know, too much politics in Formula One. So he's like, nah, Formula One, even though it's the fastest you could possibly go and the most, I suppose, the most thrilling race you could possibly do, nah, that's not for me. It's too political. I want to just keep doing these sort of regional races in less fast cars just for the thrill of it. I don't know if that motivation really adds up to me. And in the end, he ends up taking the Formula One job to sort of help Javier Bardem, I guess, who's also very handsome in this film, in this suit. But yeah, so the motivation is weird, and they kind of try to stick with that, because at the very end, he's got this thing where he never accepts a trophy, never touches a trophy, and at the very end, when he wins the Formula One and he's like the best race car driver that exists, he doesn't touch the trophy, and he doesn't celebrate at all. He just packs his bags and goes, as if like, yeah, I was only here for the thrill. I don't need the trophies. I was just here for the thrill of the race. And that's strange, because then he just leaves and then finds some like really fast car, like a driver wanted ad in the paper, and goes to some desert and starts driving really fast in the desert in a car. And you're like, okay, so you're really stuck at this idea that this character's motivation is just for the thrill of it, but he was so hesitant to take the Formula One job. So strange. Yeah, a bit weird. But You overlook it. You don't really need it. You're there for the car racing. Now, the other thing which has come to my attention, which I find, unfortunate. It's a bit unfortunate. This thing. It's the role of Kerry Condon. Now, my brother studied engineering, and his girlfriend's engineer as well. And they both really like Formula One. My brother and his girlfriend, and so they're both engineers, and I guess I actually don't even know if the girlfriend maybe even works for Formula One or is about to work for Formula One. I don't know, but they did definitely work for like Formula E, like the safe the electric cars one. But anyway, they're into it. What I'm trying to say is they are into it, and they haven't seen this film yet. But the worry is, and I have to say that their worry does kind of come true. The worry is that Kerry Condon, she plays a female engineer. She's the top engineer of this Formula One team, right? So she's there to help sort of make sure these cars are the fastest and safest and best cars there are. That's her job. That's what she must have studied many, 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 many years at university doing, just like my brother and his girlfriend. Now, the girlfriend's worry is that there's apparently a stereotype in engineering, a stereotype that no one else would ever know of unless you're an engineer. The stereotype is, female engineers, they're just there to sleep with the drivers. And Kerry Condon she kind of does that. She gets with Brad Pitt. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, they're just adding fuel to the fire of this stereotype that if you're a female and you're an engineer in Formula One, you're probably going to end up sleeping with the drivers. And yeah, that is a little bit of a shame. But then the other worries are that, and this does kind of happen, it's that Brad Pitt's character is this sort of gambling, like he likes to gamble, he's kind of homeless, he's a bit of a vagabond, that he can deliver some kind of wisdom that Kerry Condon's female engineer who studied engineering her whole life and has this job as the head of engineering, he can deliver some tips to her that she would have never have thought of, that completely makes these cars better. And he does. He's like, we need to make these cars better for combat. And he kind of like, with like a squint in his eye, as if like, trust me, I know what I'm talking about type of thing. And yeah, in a sense, he will know what he's talking about because he's a driver, but it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, the engineer was unable to do her job and make the best possible car without this sort of gambling man, vagabond, sort of, a bit of a loser of a man, honestly, even though he's very cool, he's Brad Pitt. But yeah, a bit of a loser of a man, doesn't have a house or a steady life in any shape or form. He's the one who's able to deliver tips to her and sort of teach her how to do engineering properly. And yeah, that does happen a little bit in the film, a little bit. So my brother's girlfriend's worries, they do come true here, unfortunately. Does it ruin the film? No, not at all. In fact, I didn't barely think about it until I sort of had these conversations with my brother and his girlfriend. But yeah, that is a thing that happens in it, which is a little bit of a shame. Like, why couldn't this female engineer be able to just do the job of a great engineer without having to get help from a man who's not in that profession and doesn't have that expertise? Like, well, why does she have to get tips from this man? And then why does she have to sleep with this man? But I guess my answer is this is a Hollywood movie and it's just kind of sexy to watch because Brad Pitt's sexy. And it just makes him all the more cool, you know? Like, he's this cool guy who just sort of sleeps in a truck, gets out, quickly delivers some incredible engineering advice, and then wins the best sort of Formula One racing ever. It's like, yeah, how cool can a character be? But that's just, it is what it is. I still recommend this film. I think this film was actually really very good. I enjoyed it so much. I would love to hear what you guys thought in the comments below. Let me know if the female engineer thing sort of, if you notice that about the female engineer. I didn't notice it in watching it, but retrospectively and reflecting back, I guess I do notice that just a tiny little bit. But I want to know if you recognised it yourselves. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you.